House believes that maritime education should be incorporated in the national education curriculum. House at Large Kenneth Kashapuma, first speaker from Team Proposition, here to debate under the motion as stated. Under my jurisdiction, I'm going to be giving the case split, defining the motion, giving you our stance, our status quo, the problem, cause, solution, outcome, and also the burden of proof that we are going to be imposing on Team Proposition. Now allow me to acknowledge the components of the winning team, House at Large. Our second speaker, Mr. Philemon Mabopi, who's going to be rebutting and strengthening our team's case through his points of argumentation. Our third speaker, the bulldozer of Team Proposition, who's going to be destroying, eradicating the stance brought forth by Team Opposition. Now without further ado, allow me to give you what the motion requires in today's debate. Now, the motion states, this House believes that maritime education should be incorporated in the national education curriculum. Now, House, the motion expects us to say, if implementational challenges such as cost, infrastructure, teacher expertise are not here, is it necessary to incorporate maritime education into the national education curriculum? We are stating that if needed, teachers and stakeholders, NTA, institution of higher level, TVET and the Ministry of Education that are supposed to reform and revise the curriculum when they see a need and tabulate it, is it necessary for it to be in the national education curriculum as at large? Now, what are the key terminologies that we have identified in today's motion? We have identified maritime education, incorporate, and national education curriculum. Maritime education is the learning, training, and academic studies of human activities and industries related to the ocean or oceanography. This is taken from the Marine Resource Act 27 of 2000. We also define incorporate as to include something as part of a whole. This is taken from Oxford Dictionary, the 10th edition. We have national education curriculum, which is a standardized framework that outlines the subjects, context, and learning objectives to be taught in schools across the country. This is taken from the Basic Education Act 3 of 2020. Now allow Team Proposition to exercise their power of legislation to bind the motion or set the parameters to basic education as at large. And why are we setting the parameters to basic education? Because of our status quo that states that we have maritime courses incorporated within tertiary, but it's not formally within the basic education curriculum. Now, what is the status quo? Maritime education is not formally included in Namibia's basic education curriculum. Students in primary and secondary schools have limited exposure to maritime concepts. We have indirect references to maritime topics within broader subjects such as geography. Example, studying the ocean, ports, trade routes, and fishing or natural sciences.